Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Card Advantage podcast. It is Thursday, October 21st at 8:46 p.m. We are recording late because real life unfortunately got in the way for both of us. Busy with jobs and busy with life, so we are literally going to record and then I'm going to edit and upload. So this is hot off the press for some of you that will listen to it right as it comes out. And
no edits.
And before I get too far in, let me introduce my, as usual, co-host Bunk. What's going on, Bunk?
Not much, man. Trying to stay awake. But I'm
good. Trying to stay awake. Definitely been one of those weeks. Work's been kicking our ass. Unfortunately, nobody has decided to pay us yet for this podcast, so we will continue to have to hold down.
Yeah, I'll be going to work for a while.
Yeah, we have to continue to hold down a day job for the time being. So we'll apologize in advance. This thing is going to be a bit scattered. Just bear with us, and we'll do the best. We'll do the best that we can to cover it. And of course, the hobby did not help us out either. It's been a slow news week for the hobby. Not a whole lot going on. So we're gonna.
You mean there aren't product after product after product releasing?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, there's a couple of baseball products that came out, which I'm sure you're all over. What did we have this week? 2021 Optic, 2021 Transcendent, and then 2021 Mosaic, right?
Yeah, you're ahead of me. And then if you're into the online exclusives, the Ben Baller Chrome was the big one this week.
The Ben Baller Chrome. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically he takes a Topps Chrome card and puts a weird design on it, and now all of a sudden everybody wants it.
That sounds right. I mean that'll lead us into our NFT discussion here in a little bit as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I mean,
it's art though. It's art. So Bunk, don't make fun of art. Yes, it's art.
Yeah, I mean, Optic's a decent baseball product. Mosaic's a decent baseball product, and obviously Transcendent's $21,000 a box. So that's.
Yeah, I'm just so into. I've been working on sets and checking out all the new case hits and stuff like that. I haven't been into buying boxes of the new releases actually. But as far as Panini goes, I was so anti-logo for so long, but every single one of their case hits across every sport is freaking awesome. They all look cool.
Do you have anything specific that you're talking about? I know
any of them, kabooms, whammies, deep spaces, all these weird spectrum ones. Every single one of them. They're all cool. Nuclears.
Yeah,
they're all awesome.
Yeah, we threw up that on Instagram.
I hate that they don't have logos.
Yeah, we threw that up on Instagram today. The new Panini Elements Nuclears. So if you haven't checked those out, they're part of the new 2021 football product. They're definitely badass. Metal cards that have like a player and a nuclear explosion on it. They're selling for color blast kaboom type prices. Some of these things are going for. I mean, some of the early ones went for a ton. I saw an Allen and a Russell Wilson close today for like $300. So definitely not as high as the color blast or kaboom because I don't think Elements gets as much respect from a set standpoint.
And you got to make sure you're doing a little homework. Obviously, brand new product, so don't buy the single yet. But you got to look to see. Yeah, it says case hit, and everyone advertises it as SSP. But if you wait a couple weeks, like I know I do, you can see how many are listed for sale, how many have sold. Give you a general idea of how many there might be out there before you start paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for maybe that's something not as rare as one of the other case hits.
Yeah, I mean we see that time after time when new products come out. We talked about it a bunch on this podcast. I mean, the examples, Bunk just mentioned, Deep Space, is a baseball in parallel. The Lava Flow from Prism was a popular one.
Lava.
Yeah, those came out, and they were selling for 250, 300, and then now you could get the popular ones, the Tatis Acuñas, for 150, maybe a little less. We
I
picked
think
up
Lava Flow Sotos are under 100 now.
Yeah, we picked up a Lava Flow Soto the other day for $75. So, I don't know how the hell we got into this tangent, but that is that's just gonna be the way the show is gonna run today.
There's no show sheet. That's how you get there.
There's no show sheet, and there's just a free for all. But yeah, backtracking. Yeah, we're definitely a little pissed off that that the normal products that should be coming out aren't coming out, and basketball is behind. Football, there really hasn't been a big football product that's come out yet. I mean, last year there was a couple that were already out, Mosaic being the big one that dropped in August, and as of now, it's still not out yet, and there's not, Origins was nice. There's some really nice stuff in Origins, so that was cool, but Mosaic's delayed, and who knows when some of this other stuff's come out. But Panini has announced that it decided to spin off and insert from Chronicles into a whole set, into a whole product in and of itself, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to us, and the fact that they're not even delivering what they should be delivering on time, and now they're spinning stuff off and creating new $600 and $700 boxes. And the conversation that we're gonna have is whether or not is this a sign of what's to come, of them just releasing a ton of shit with colors on it and selling it for a lot of money as a way to squeeze out every buck for the next 3 years.
So you're suggesting some overproduction?
I mean, how many products did you need to spin off a parallel from a Chronicles set into a whole product in and of itself?
Well, putting together these sets takes months of work. So you're telling me you don't think Recon Basketball was in the plans a year ago?
Yeah, I'm sure it was, but at the same time, you're telling me that they didn't know that Fanatics was doing anything a year ago? I mean,
Yeah. No, they didn't know that a year ago.
But even that, with that being said, we talked about the numbers specifically, a few weeks ago on the podcast about how the Paralells have literally, quadrupled in the last, 5 years. And it's just another sign to me that, that Panini is trying to squeeze out every dollar, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, they think we're all bugs and we're going to fly into the light. So the more shiny new toys they put out, we're just going to gravitate towards them, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of releasing another product that's going to cost $600 or $700 a box that, you're not going to make your money back on.
Listen, economics 101, some supply and demand, right? So the demand is through the goddamn roof.
Yeah.
So, and the supply isn't there, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to keep building the supply until it gets closer to the demand.
Yeah. How about you print the damn product that's supposed to be out if you want to make the supply?
And that's the counter argument. Produce less and make it better quality.
Yeah. Release my Mosaic, cards for football this year, and drop the fucking, get everything ready so that Prism football will drop on time. I mean, at the rate we're going, we're not going to see Prism football until August of training camp next year.
I was hoping for the Super Bowl.
I mean, and that also is the question. The other item of news. I mean, not that anybody. I mean, and excuse me if I offend you, Upper Deck hockey fans.
They canceled products.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Upper Deck canceled 3 hockey products, one of which was somewhat notable. And is that a sign that, they blamed it on supply chain issues? And is that a sign of, some of the things that Panini's going through? And will we see scarcity because of that, and not having as much product out? Do we know whether or not Panini's dropping as many boxes of these products as they normally do?
Well, but besides, labor and or supply shortages, what else do they have to, what's like one of the number one things they'd have to have in hand in order to release a product?
I mean, there's probably the thing that comes to mind off the top of my head is if they're printing everything overseas, which they could be, like if they're printing everything in Europe, China, wherever they may be. They have to get all that stuff here. And as far as I know, there is a massive backlog all over, shipping ports for products coming in.
Yeah,
So
well, maybe it's just as simple as they don't have all the autographs in hand.
yeah, I mean that could also.
I mean, because it's already a travesty that there's even one redemption card in any product. Like you're paying money for the product. I should not be getting a redemption card that might not be fulfilled, because the redemption card's zero value until it gets fulfilled.
Well, that brings me back to the original, not original, but something we talked about months ago, that LaMelo didn't sign his fucking redemptions. I mean, he signed National Treasures and like one other set, but for the most part, the LaMelo, there's still thousands of LaMelo redemptions out there that aren't ever going to get filled.
Right, that's what I mean. So maybe they have a formula where they say, okay, we can't put more than 5% of our autographs as redemptions in a product, and maybe they just don't have them all yet. All the stickers yet.
Yeah, I mean, stickers
I don't know.
Could be something that's in short supply. I have no idea, but
no, just getting them from people or having, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of creating additional product at this point in time and releasing new sets. Like, if you want to run your parallels up in some of these and that's how you're going to create new and fresh things, I'm fine with that. I mean, and potentially even, maybe take a few out that aren't as popular and then put some new ones in, for Select and for Prism and for, Mosaic and all these other things. But to release another $600 or $700 a box product,
I thought it was $500, but
I think it's I don't know. I think I saw between $5 and $6, depending on where you look. But even so, another $500 a box product that you're probably not going to make your money back on. I don't know. I'm not a fan, and hopefully we'll see football product during football season. But I'm not holding my breath right now.
What do you think is going to happen when we get the next two major football releases? Are people just jonesing so bad that it's going to go berserk?
I don't know. Like, with some of these situations where, guys are, the quarterbacks, what we talked about so far, and it's like, if guys aren't playing up to their expectations or aren't playing at all, are people going to go nuts for those?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early for those guys, though. Even if you're not playing up to par yet, there's still belief that year 2 you're going to be better. So I'm going to pay now for your autograph.
Yeah, well,
I mean, first round quarterback, it's going to go for $1 billion, whether it should or not.
Yeah, I am still a fan of waiting, and it's going to be the same with basketball. Night 1 and 2 of basketball has taken place. And there are guys that are dropping, 30, 40 points that aren't supposed to, a la Harrison Barnes, who is on the Sports Card Advantage podcast host fantasy basketball team. And I
heard we're pretty filthy.
Yeah, I hear we're pretty good too. But Harrison Barnes, who I don't even know who that is, but we drafted him, scores 36 points in his first outing. And I immediately go and start looking for rookie cards, and but I was then stopped and saying, dude, it's not going to happen. So
because he's 30.
Yeah, because he's old and he hasn't done anything yet, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's the same FOMO. Don't buy the one night, that isn't ever going to be repeated type of thing. Don't buy the flashes in the pan. With NBA. We haven't talked about rookies yet because there's no freaking product to buy. Like, all the guys that just got drafted, there is nothing you can buy other than draft pick boxes right now. So what's the point in talking about, Jalen Green and Callaway and whoever else if you can't buy any of their pro uniform stuff yet?
Well, maybe I want the college uniform.
Well, if you'd like to waste your money on the college uniform stuff, go right ahead.
I do not. I'm begging people to buy my Daniel Jones Duke Prism draft cards.
Yuck. That's awful. All right. This is all over the fucking place. This is an awful episode so far, but
I think it's quite informative.
We will keep things moving. As I mentioned, we did have the Sports Advantage Podcast Fantasy Basketball League. So thank everyone that is participating. Also, a special shout out to David. David actually emailed us. He's listening to us in Japan, so that was pretty awesome. So shout out to him. And while we're at it, we'll break up the randomness with a random.org giveaway for the secret card. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
I want you in a better mood, so I'm gonna go 10.
You're such a dick. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
God, you're slow.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Sean L. Sean L, you are the winner. We will email you and figure out what you want for, actually we should have you somewhere. But yeah, we'll get your address and send you out the card. And then this week's choices, we have a 2020 Calvin Ridley Snakeskin Prism. We have a 2019 Panini Hoops Purple PSA 9 John Morant, and a 2020 Josh Jacobs RPA. One other piece of, I guess, news that we'll cover in the odds and ends main event section. Fanatics made an announcement today, I believe it was, stating that their digital collectibles firm is valued at $1.5 billion. So that basically means that they are going to pretty much try to put a complete stranglehold on sports cards, both digital and print. They will have full rights to everything within the next few years. They're already talking. Michael Rubin announced that they're doing some partnerships with Gary Vee. So I have to figure that they are going to try and control some aspect of sports card collectibles from end to end. That will be cards, that will be grading, that will be storage, that will be NFTs, that will be whatever else they're going to do. So definitely something that you need to think about for that. But NFTs are going to be a part of this hobby. Whether you like it or not, whether or not you understand it or not.
Well, I need to understand it. Well, I mean, listen, have I tried to buy Topps NFTs on their website when it launches? Yes, only because I like money, and I had FOMO over it, and I wanted to make sure maybe I had something that was valuable when I did it. Do I have any clue whatsoever why it can be considered an asset class? Nope. I can't hold it. I can't do anything with it except that it appears on my screen.
Yeah, so, it's the same as it's. So first and foremost,
get off my lawn.
We're gonna premiere that.
I didn't even get going yet. These things are so stupid, but I'm willing to respect the fact that if they're worth a boat ton of money, then I can't mock it too much.
So let's analyze that. Let's take a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle that you can hold in your hand. What is it? It's a piece of cardboard, but it's in short supply, and there's a whole lot of people that want to own it. So anything that's in short supply that a whole lot of people want to own because it's a status symbol, then price goes up. It's the same as an NFT.
I understand what you're saying. There's still a disconnect for me because I can't physically hold it. I think there's something to be said
but if you buy shares of Microsoft, you can't physically hold.
But those. I could physically have the stock deed, the deed paper, whatever it's called. That means those exist.
What is this, 1950? When you have your shares of Kodak that you got from your grandpa? I asked
E-Trade to send me some documents. They'll send me something saying you own this stock, and I can hold it.
Yeah, and the same as NFT. They can send you a document that says you own, CryptoPunk number, 852.
Right, but the reason why it has value now is not. There's a difference there. The stock has value because it's a company and whatever. My piece of paper that of a picture on my computer, it means nothing to me.
Yes,
I can't do anything with the piece of picture with the piece of paper.
Yeah, you can't do anything with a piece of cardboard with a picture of Mickey Mantle on it either. But there are people that will pay you lots of money for it. And if you have CryptoPunk
Because it's
number,
a physical thing.
yeah, well, it doesn't
No,
matter whether or
explain.
not it's
People want to know. I'm not the only one who has this huge disconnect with like these stupid sloths and all these other companies making animals and paying. I mean, it is so dumb to me. But
yeah.
I understand that people want them and they have value.
It's
But
a
how long
it's
can that possibly last?
it's all a digital status symbol. I own this
Then I'm
thing.
too friggin' old and just hit that button over and over and over again. These things are the dumbest freaking things. But I don't want to discourage you from buying them because they'll probably be worth $1 billion.
So I mean, let's talk about it from the hobby perspective, because all right. So I'll give you a quick economics lesson. If there's limited supply of things and there's more people that want to buy it than there is a supply, then the price will go up.
I just said that earlier. I understand that.
It doesn't matter what it is.
But it's nothing. It's not a thing. I need it to be a thing.
Yeah, well then
not my screensaver.
Then print it out and hang it on the wall. I mean, but if you're talking about it in reference to cards, then it's a matter of, these NFTs will be created and they'll be created in limited supply, and then, they will be for sale. And it's the next generation. It's not necessarily our generation that that is going to be the main target. It's going to be the digital generation. I mean, so let's use video games for example. When we were kids, video games were freaking cartridges that you had to put into a Nintendo and press a button. Now you literally turn your TV on and you pick up your controller and everything's been downloaded. There's no discs for the most part. These kids today, they just download everything. There's not a thing that you hold. It's the same thing. These kids, it's a digital world, and this is what is going to...
Waste all your money on this stuff, and I'll get some nice deals on some vintage cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there will be some aspect of NFTs that survive. And, regardless of what your opinion is about Gary Vee, there's two things that I respect about what he did in the NFT space. Number one, the NFTs that he sold for himself, yes, they were stupid doodle pictures, but they came with real value. You either had an opportunity to talk to him about business, or an opportunity to attend his business conference, or there was some sort of material value that came with it in addition to what you bought. That's number one. And number two, he said to people time and time and time again that 99% of the NFT universe that's around right now will not be around in 5 or 10 years. That, it's all going to, fade, and that certain things will retain value and certain things won't. Similar to when the internet came out. How many internet stocks and companies and all this shit
Why
were
am I
there?
going to have confidence getting into this if 99% of it's going to be gone in 5 years?
Because if you pick the 1% that's still there in 5 or 10 years, then you're gonna be fucking rich. That's why.
Right. So that makes it even dumber to me now. If that's true, this is even dumber, and you're wasting your money further.
Look at what you have going on. Everybody and their mother is creating their own NFTs, and not all these things are going to be valuable. They're
making Panini look good. Go ahead, print it up.
There's another podcast that's in the sports card space that made their own NFTs and were selling them for $200. This podcast is not gonna fucking exist in 5 years, and those NFTs are gonna be precisely worthless. But it's a money grab for certain people. They took their money and they're gonna run. I think they sold at like $200 a piece. I think they sold a couple hundred of them. They made like 30 or 40 grand. And, that was going to be the end of it. And now those people are going to get left with an NFT that's worthless.
So what do they actually have?
Nothing.
For that $200, what do I have? A picture on my computer?
No, you have an NFT of a picture on your computer, and then you have a piece of code that says you are the legitimate owner of this picture on your computer. And then you can post this picture on your computer as
I'm just gonna play that clip out loud and let this sink in.
What people are using these things for as their social media avatars. So that they can show that they're the owner of this, and it's your digital clout. I don't even want to get into cryptocurrency and some of the other things that exist.
Do not get into crypto. Do not get into crypto. I'll keep buying or earning my dollars, my U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna have.
We will move on.
You can take your Dogecoin and shove it.
We'll move on. And keep things moving here. We do have some investment stuff to talk about in actual, real, physical cards. And
don't get me wrong, there's a whole group of people that'll rip baseball cards as even being an asset.
Well, I'll rip baseball as a sport.
And I don't necessarily disagree sometimes, but
I'll make fun of baseball as a sport, but I don't necessarily have any problems with it as an asset class.
All right, guy.
And now, everybody get ready for the second installment of Bunk's off-season guide to baseball buying.
Off-season guide? Oh, boy. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to pump it up more this week.
Yeah, I created a whole segment.
I do got two guys, though.
I created a whole segment for you last week.
Yeah, but did you have someone do that voiceover for you just now?
No, I did it myself, guy.
Oh, you should make some tapes.
Yeah, guy. I'm the new voice of the radio here.
All right, I got two names for you. I got Riley Green and I got Austin Martin.
Are either of these guys in Market Movers or Card Ladder?
Nah, I don't even go to Card Ladder anymore, but they're both in Market Movers.
You abandoned ship on that one quickly.
Because I don't have anything. Everything I go to now, it's in Market Movers.
In fairness, there's definitely been a couple of times where I've had to go to Card Ladder because it wasn't in Market Movers. So, but which card are we looking at?
Well, Riley Green, if you want, I don't think you're gonna find it. The card I picked is not in Market Movers. He is in Market Movers because his rookie, his main card is the 2019 Bowman Chrome Draft. That's his first Bowman. Mm-hmm. But if you, so what I did was, I abandoned charts for him. I looked at every chart of his there, and every card looks like this, going straight up still, even though if we're heading into the offseason because he's one of the top prospects in baseball. So I said, all right, I want Riley Green. Where am I getting in out of Riley Green? And I decided that, as you know, I love my Bowman's Best. He's got a 2019, same year as his first Bowman, and he's got autographs at a fraction of the cost of his first Bowman Chrome autograph. So you can get Riley Green autographs all day long for $50 right now. From Bowman's Best, and they are going, they'll be easily doubled, if not more, come his call-up Major League debut.
All right, guy, give me that card specifically again. We're going to go
2019 Bowman's Best.
So we're going to go to eBay.
Yeah, man, he's showing it off.
So that we can actually bring up the card. Are you looking at auto?
Autograph, yeah.
And graded or raw?
Raw.
Okay.
There's plenty of them.
All right, so that's a gold, so we don't want that. There's 2 golds up right now.
Those must be in the hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, there's 450 by it now.
There you go.
All right, here's a good picture. So this one is asking Bowman's Best of 19 autographs, Riley Green auto. It's asking $100.
Yeah, now, auctions have been closing between $50 and $60 lately.
Okay.
So I'd fire up all your auctions and follow them.
All right. Well, for the purposes of this, we'll bring up the actual picture so that people can see it.
Well, what I'd bring up in Market Movers his raw first Bowman Chrome auto. And you can see the hype surrounding him if you don't have that kind of dough to throw around.
Bowman Chrome.
2019.
It's the DP auto?
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Those have got to be at like $2.25, no?
Yeah, last close was $2.99, so I think that was probably a buy it now.
Probably.
But the last few closes before that were $2.49, $2.37, and $2.39.
Right, and that's on a base.
This is Bowman Chrome Auto.
Yeah, so that is, for a guy that's not made it yet in the big, that is a ridiculously high price for a first Bowman Chrome Auto. So that's why I strongly value that Bowman's Best at $50.
So we shouldn't anticipate this to fall off in the off season, so to speak. You're anticipating that his prices will stay steady and or continue to rise.
I'm anticipating. I'm definitely going to keep watching it, but they've been doing nothing but creeping upward, and he's not even playing now, and they're still creeping upward or holding firm. So, and if there's any shot that he's going to make the big club next year, forget. I mean, he's still on the younger side. He only just turned 21, but you're going to see him at some point next year.
Okay. And who else you got on the list?
So the other one was Austin Martin. So he was crazy hype. So Riley was the 5th overall pick in 2019. Austin Martin, 5th overall pick in 2020 by the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays sent him over to the Twinkies in the Barrios deal. So he kind of lost some of his hype because it's Minnesota. So his first Bowman Sapphire Chrome, that's the one I was looking at. That has was probably selling at about $150 a piece for a week. I think the lowest sale now is $20, $22 on that card right now for his first Bowman Sapphire. That's in movers, sir.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, it looks like his stuff in June was in the $125 range, and then took a fairly large tumble, and then now last few closes were between 18 and $25.
Yeah, and they what the Twins did, because he's a shortstop, and a lot of these teams, that's what they do. Even if they have 9 shortstops, they draft 9 more because they're usually your best athlete, and you teach them other positions. So, for example, Martin's was playing center field in AAA for the Twins to end the season. So his path, he's going to be 23 come opening day, so there's no concern starting a clock on him if he's ready to go.
Yeah, and if you can find ones in good condition,
at that price point, it's great to grade.
Yeah, I mean, there is a Pop 1 on this card, PSA 10, and Pop 8 on this card, PSA 9. PSA 9s are selling for less than $50. The 110 sold for $250, $260.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful with those sapphires because ton of print line issues. Lots are off center. So if you can physically hold it, pick it up at a show, or it's going to be tough sometimes on eBay unless the seller discloses those types of defects. So yeah, I mean, obviously centering you can see, but a lot of print lines and surface damage on these sapphires.
I don't know. We've seen some pretty high gem rates on sapphire stuff, I thought.
Maybe the people are just getting better sending them in.
I'm going to go with no on that one, but...
You don't think when PSA was 200 a pop, you don't think people were being highly selective of what they were sending in? So the newer products should have better gem rates? You don't think there's any correlation?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. What are we looking at? Bowman Chrome?
Yeah, 2021 Bowman Chrome and his Sapphire. Just that nice blue card. And when I saw that they fell under $20, I figured you got to get this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the gem rates on 2021 baseball products, with the exception of Topps Project 70, obviously, which is ridiculously high. The rest of these are between 40 and 60%, and the Bowman products, 46% Bowman Chrome, 55% Bowman Chrome Sapphire.
So where does that lie in like the grand scheme of things? Is 55 relatively high?
For newer products, it's about average. For older products, obviously, it's ridiculously high. For example, the 1986 Fleer, gem rate is like 3%, 5%.
Well, no, give me like a Chrome set. I can't compare.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, 2018 Topps Chrome, the gem rate on that is like 75 to 80%.
Okay.
I mean, it's insanely high. So, I mean, 55% isn't low, but it's also not. I mean, it's not ridiculously high either. But you have a decent shot. And some of those cards, or you don't go to PSA because they're cheap cards. Send them to SGC, and let SGC grade them for $30.
Right, and then grab your 9.5, grab your 10, and then let someone else think they're gonna crack it and sub it on their own. Maybe get a little premium.
Or you get a PSA, you get an SGC 10, then feel comfortable about the grade of it, and then crack it yourself and send it to PSA. there's no harm in letting SGC take a look at it and see what you're working with.
I want to unleash these tile cutters I got here, sir.
Yeah, should we tell people about why you have tile cutters?
Well, to be fair, I mocked population reports for years now because I was anti-cracking stuff open because I was so hooked on I need my pop report data because it's important to me. And
now we're about to turn you to the dark side and make you a part of the problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've accepted that I can't rely on pop reports anymore. So what's the point?
Yeah, I mean stuff that's low, it's low, and it's just a general area. Whether or not a pop report is 220 or 250 or 280, I mean it's still low in consideration. And if a pop report is 5,000, then it doesn't matter whether or not it's 4,500 or 5,500. I mean,
you know what the biggest pop report problem probably is? It's probably Beckett's.
What the magazines that you still read?
Well, yeah, because they've all been cracked open and sent to PSA. Think about it.
I'm talking about the Beckett magazines that you still read for grading reports.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I just pulled this out. I got all my old Becketts here. I got all. I think that's the Rocket there.
Oh Jesus, the Rocket in a Red Sox uniform. So that's from
July '91, guy.
Jesus, what do you still have that for?
I'm a hoarder.
You're a hoarder. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, what the pop report?
Think about it. Think about all the investments, football, basketball that you bring up, and then I'm looking for BGS data, and there might be a couple hundred there, but there's never any online.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've all been cracked open and sent somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean
that's my theory.
Especially
so scoop up every BGS you can because they're rarer than rare.
And just so everybody knows, that is not meant to be financial or trading advice of any kind. We are not responsible for any losses you may take scooping up every BGS 9.5 that you can.
Right. Moving on.
But yeah, with that being said, we'll get to the tile cutters here in a minute. Let me cover the last piece of our investments for the week. We're going to be talking 2018 Michael Porter Jr. He started to definitely come on last year with Jamal Murray being hurt. He plays in Denver. Denver is going to be a contender for the title. Again, Porter is going to basically be a focal point of the team along with Jokic. Jamal Murray is out for at least the next few months. Some have said he's going to be back, January, February. Some are saying like April. So in that time, Porter has the opportunity to shine, and he's been on every list for guys that people are trying to acquire. But some of his stuff has remained affordable, that you can pick it up and grab it. If you look at his stats over his first 2 years of his career, he's shown improvements in every statistical category. If he keeps getting better, he's going to be scoring 20 plus points a game. And being somebody that you can rely on for stats. So we'll take a quick look at our usual cards, Optic Hollow, Prism Silvers, but that doesn't mean his other stuff isn't good. We just use these as a guide because there's enough sales volume for him so that we can get an idea on what his trends are. So we'll look at PSA 9s and 10s. And the 9s on both sides, definitely affordable. So your last two 9s for Prism Silver, you're talking $130. Optic Hollow last close was under 100. So definitely some stuff that you can potentially grab. These cards have seen highs in the $350 to $400 range. So roughly 2.5, 3 times what you're looking at. And then if you have the cash, last two closes for your 10s were roughly 600 on the Prism Silver and 5 and change for your Optic Hollow. Pops on all of these cards. the 10s anyway are low. Let's see. I'm sorry. Nope, never mind. I'm sorry. The Optic Holo pops 155, PSA 10 2000 on the Prism Silver, and then the PSA 9 240 on the Optic Holo and 1200 on the Prism Silver.
2000 on the Prism. What year is he?
2018.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, look at Luca. I mean, there's how many Luca PSA 10s?
Right, but it's Luca.
Yeah, not to compare Porter to Luca, but yes. But that year was an exceptional year for printing across the board. I mean, Topps and Panini both printed, wonderfully in 2018. The gem rates on some of those products are through the roof. All right, that's all we got.
And then what happened?
And then we moved on to the next segment of the podcast. Let's talk about tile cutters.
Is there another segment?
Yeah, there's another segment. We have two more segments. We may actually squeeze close to an hour of rambling. This is the most I've ever felt that we've rambled on, but we'll continue to ramble on here. So yeah, Bunk was referring to tile cutters earlier on in the show, and the reason why he acquired tile cutters is because we've been on the hunt for SGC 10s that we can potentially crack and submit to PSA. And for some of these, the ratio of SGC 10 prices to PSA 10 prices is shocking. Like, we've talked about some of this on Slab Wars before, but I mean, we literally found a couple of cards whose SGC 10 price closed for less than 25%. Less than 25% of a PSA 10 price. I mean, for the sake of buying it and taking the risk of basically tax and shipping and eBay fees if you need to resell it, it's worth buying it, getting it home, looking at it, seeing it, and seeing if you feel that it's in gem worthy condition, and then cracking that shit open and sending it to PSA. I mean, SGC, you have to hope, is reliable enough that they would have provided a 10, but you can still get it home, buy it, look at it, and God forbid it's not in good condition, resell it. Just put it back out in the market and try again. But if it's a quarter of the price, you get one right and two wrong, you still made money.
Without giving anything away, should we talk about the SGC 10 we have that's not a 10?
No, we'll save that for the upcoming video. But and then I'm gonna pout a little bit because there's something that I found online that is used to cut concrete and flooring tiles that I wanted to buy to chop the top off of slabs, and I was not allowed to get it because the fear of damaging the card.
Well, the thing would have literally shattered the case, I think. I honestly don't think it. I get what you're saying. So people are trying to picture this at home. It looks like a huge paper cutter, except it's industrial strength, and you can cut concrete with this big arm.
Yeah.
And Jeff's vision was, if you just slap, just put this thing in the industrial strength, then you'll clean cut the top right off, stick your flathead screwdriver in it, done. No damage to the card, but. I don't think those cases are going to sustain that. That
was the vision in my head, and for those of you that didn't understand the picture that he's trying to paint, if you go back to 5th grade and the thing that your teacher used to use to cut construction paper, but 4 or 5 times the size, and sharper.
They probably don't have those in school anymore.
Yeah, they don't know what construction paper is.
or a paper cutter.
Yeah. So the Slab Chopper 3000 that I wanted to purchase was put on hold, but I'll eventually buy that and make some videos. It was like $150. So if anybody out there has cut one open, definitely let me know. But for now, we'll have to go with the more traditional method and use the tile cutters. All right, we're gonna close with one question from the Peanut Gallery. It's actually a pretty decent question. It's gonna lead us into some further conversations. It is coming from somebody who said, the question reads, I was in involved in the hobby when I was a kid. I'm just getting back in. I don't have a ton of money to to play around with, and I'm looking to find ways to be able to make money, not only to make money, but also to add to some stuff that I want to collect. Where can I start? So, I mean, it all depends on budget, but hopefully, if you want to take, if you don't have that much money, but if you can scrape together a couple $100, there's a couple of ways to do this. One of the ways that we've been finding to be very effective is finding raw cards online, either eBay, private Facebook groups, Discord groups, or at shows, and analyzing the conditions of the cards and then sending them out to get graded and then getting them back. And then obviously, if you're only working with a couple $100, PSA is out. So you have to find cards that you can afford, that are going to be SGC or, God forbid, HGA worthy, where you can get them graded for that $30 price point. And if you're looking to try and turn this into something that you're making money with, SGC probably the better choice right now, just because their turnaround times are 20 business days less than HGA right now.
Yeah, I'd actually go the way I did it as a kid was, now it's a little harder because the price points are so high, so pack prices are high. But find yourself, if you're near you got a hobby shop near you. You don't want to lay out for boxes. I'll go in and I'll just grab a couple packs from this box, a couple packs from that box, and just pick up a couple loose packs at a hobby shop. Or the other thing is hit a local show and deep dive into those dollar bins.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, if we talked about it last week. The purpose of why I was going there wasn't in there to turn it into $100, but if you take your time and go through those dollar bins and people haven't taken time, you'll find stuff to make money on in there.
So that is the question. If
so
somebody who has
and make money,
if somebody who hasn't been in the hobby for a while is trying to flip through those dollar
fair.
boxes, all right, so
that's a great point, because I can go through and say, "Oh, look at this! This thing's 20 years old. I know it's worth $20." You're absolutely right. So they might not know what to grab.
So then that begs the question: what should they be looking for?
In boxes, you just have to go with names.
Yeah,
you gotta figure if they're in a low price bin, that you can't go too wrong in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Excuse me. You're looking for
shinier stuff. Turn it over. Find missing. People didn't realize there's serial numbers on certain cards. Didn't realize it was a refractor. So you're just gonna have to look front and back and notice differences compared to the other cards that are around.
Yeah, and I'm not a. You see a lot of these videos of guys at shows, and they're like, "Oh, I just bought it for here, and then turn around and sold it there," and it's like, I don't know. Yes, you can do that, but you'd
have to medicate me to do that all day long.
Not even that. It's more just a matter of, it looks really easy on an edited video on YouTube, but you don't see some of the losses, and you don't see the fact that maybe they've known this dealer for the last 5 years, and the guy's going to hook them up versus the price that you would get, as he doesn't know you from a hole in the wall. So a lot of this stuff, like, and not to take anything away from these guys, because that's how they make their living, and that's their bread and butter, but it's not always as easy as it looks on TV. So I would be looking more at shows for stuff that may be mispriced, or stuff that is you can get deals and get stuff for 70 or 80% of comps, and then your best bet is to try to sell that privately, social media groups and stuff, because if you try to sell it on eBay, by the time you're done with fees and shipping, you lost 15%. So unless you got it for 30 or 40% below comp, which is going to be rare, you got to take into consideration all these other things. Like, I hate to shout it out, but there's one guy on YouTube that I watch all the time, and he was walking through, is like, "Oh, I saw 10 raw cards, and I was gonna this is the price," and like, he doesn't walk through the grading fees, and like, his math was completely off. Like, there was no way that if he would have gotten back what he was saying, that he would have made money. And so these are the things that you got to be aware of, that it's not always as easy as it looks in these videos, and it's not going to be quick. You got to, like, get in there and do the work and learn. about card condition and learn about, card value. And if the pictures in the eBay auction suck, to email the person and get additional pictures. And if they're not willing to do it, be able to walk away and go find something else. There's millions of cards on eBay right now.
You know what else there's millions of?
Dollar
eBay accounts, but under 100 feedback, because everyone's selling now.
Yeah. Which is
cool, because again, if you're like me, you're selling to buy more cards, so that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's definitely ways to make money. And if you're going to go the grading route, there's a website I recommend. It's free. It's called gemrate.com. Look at that site. Try to find stuff, find products that have high gem rates, because that means that a good portion of the things that people sent in to get graded came back 10s. That's a good way to start as far as what should I be buying. Find your favorite player in their rookie year and start there. And so let's say your favorite player is Tatis. Go to 2019 and look at all the 2019 baseball and see which sets have the highest gem rate, and then start looking for players in those sets that you can afford.
I like it. I'm still stuck on my comment to you earlier about, I wonder how much of it over the last 18 months is such high scrutiny being sent off. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it's everybody sent everything in.
Oh, when it was $8 a card, everybody sent everything in, so the gem rates were garbage.
Yeah. And then so then once everything shut down and the prices went up, I gotta believe that I would have thought 2021 products would be higher gem rates on a Chrome type card than 55%.
Well, to counterpoint your argument, how do you explain 2018? I mean, 2018, back in 2018.
Well, the volumes are really high on those, right? But it's still, I don't know.
Topps Chrome update.
Printing press that year? I don't know.
Topps Chrome update. Gem rate 85%, Topps Chrome 84%, Topps Heritage 70%.
So that's surprising on Heritage.
Topps Now 80%.
Favorite product.
Topps Holiday 76%.
So what the hell happened after that year?
Bowman's Best 89%.
Okay, well, so that was still before crazy group submissions. I mean, it was going on, but not like
but you could get PSA cards done for $8 back then. So you got to figure 2018, 2019, people figured out that Acuna was good a year later and, submitted freaking everything. And they were, prices didn't go up until, a year ago?
Yeah, once the first lockdown hit.
So, there's...
That's why I'm anxiously waiting Q3 eBay numbers to see if we're still trending in the right direction here.
Oh, as far as people buying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have to imagine with all the, with all the other stuff going on with Fanatics and athletes and celebrities and stuff, I have to imagine it's still growing. But
yeah, these guys are very, very rich, and usually they don't make decisions to buy things and spend hundreds of millions of dollars without doing some sort of research on the longevity of the market.
Yeah, and make sure it doesn't fail. But.
Especially since they're not going to get control of everything for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
The market...
That's a good point. They're kind of just sitting around, sitting on their hands for a while, hoping for the best, I guess.
Yeah, in 3 years, that's when they're going to be able to get the reins on this stuff and take control. So who knows? All right, I think we're done. We gave you 53 rambling minutes of quality entertainment right there. I guess some final business info at sportscardadvantage.com. If you have any questions, you want to send your secret card. I forgot to even say the email address.
I wrote it down. I was going to say it later for you.
Yeah, I apologize. I have not slept in like 3 days, so we promise that next week we will be better. And I think, are we going to try to start recording on Monday nights for Tuesday drops? Next week.
That's the plan. Late night Mondays. I'll have my eyes half open after I get home, but it's gonna happen.
All right. Yeah. So I think we've made the decision. So consider that a heads up that we're gonna be switching and doing Monday night recordings and Tuesday drops. And then for those of you who are listening to us on or who used to listen to us on Pandora. Pandora right now is not taking anything sports card related for podcast. If it has sports card in the title, as of now, it's been pulled from the platform. So if you know anybody that listens to us on Pandora, please switch your platforms. You can find us basically anywhere else podcasts are hosted or YouTube. I have an email out to Pandora to figure out what's going on, but all they told me was, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, it's got to have something to do with investment advice, right?
No, there's plenty of financial podcasts where people talk about investment advice.
Good point.
I mean,
that just seems bizarre.
Well, the weird part about it is Card Talk Pod is still live on Pandora because it doesn't have the term sports card in the title. It just says Card Talk. So they're still live.
Maybe send an email and say, "Hey guys, you missed one."
Yeah. We're not going to be.
I would have put that by you.
We're not going to be podcast snitches, guy.
I'm too lazy to even send that email.
I actually reached out to Sports Card Nonsense. I was like, "Hey, were you guys aware?" The only response was, "No, we were not," and that was it. Not like anything else of any kind of constructive or follow up or whatever. Literally, all I got back was, "No, we were not."
Who's this peon emailing me?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't give a shit about you and your stupid podcast. All right. I think we're done. We've rambled on long enough, and this isn't going to be edited, so it's coming at you raw and uncut.
Sweet.
We'll see you in a few days.
Render.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few days.